Hey guys, coming back at you with another painting tutorial. This time I'm going to do a Redemptor Dreadnought. You can see it's Blood Angels, but really the techniques I'm going to show you can work with any of the factions out there. You find a contrast color of your army, so Ultramarines, Imperial Fists, or speed paint that works really well. This highlighting technique will work the same and you will have the same results, but just input your faction. So I'm showing you here magnetizing the model. I know it's not required, but I just want to show this. This is part of this process on vehicles and certain like larger item or larger units, just because I don't really want to have to redo them or repaint them to have that same unit just input that different gun. So the nice thing is they make it pretty easy with the larger, the plasma, and then the Gatling gun there. But just these smaller guns, they're not as easy as to, like, you will have to magnetize them. So there's some good videos out there on how to magnetize the Redemptor. It was pretty easy, honestly. It wasn't that difficult. So I do end up pinning, like the larger models like this, I do end up pinning them to the bases. Most of my models I don't, but these guys I do, just because they're the top of this thing is sort of heavy. So airbrush I'm using is going to be the Evolution CR Plus. It's the 2024 variant. So hey, if you don't have an airbrush and you want one on your Christmas list, I would recommend Harder & Steenbeck. I've had great luck with these airbrushes. They have the Ultra 2024 version, which I think for a beginner using airbrush is the go-to. Or you can upgrade to the Evolution. It comes with 2 needle sets. I want to say I'm shooting the 0.4 needle on this one. So the first thing we're going to do to get those highlights is we're going to use the white. I had said bold titanium white, but white of your choice, matte white. And then you're going to hit all the tops of the panels. So just think of where light's going to hit it. And the nice thing is you can use this technique on tanks, Land Raider, whatever you want. Big models that have just massive panels. You can use it on Space Marines if you wanted to. And it's going to come out looking real good. All right, the speed paint we're rolling with is Army Painter Blood Red. This is the most punchy red I've been able to find to be able to do this technique. And I did a lot of my army with this Army Painter Blood Red. It is such a contrasting red. I don't know. It's hard to explain it, but it is so deep and just rich and bright at the same time. It's hard to beat this red. And I don't know if the new Speed Painter 2.0 line has this red in it. This is the original 1.0 paint. So as you can see, the model's totally painted. And the nice thing is when you're doing that is you can just paint the whole model. You don't have to go back and do the panel thing. You're just spraying. I mean, it's a contrast, so it will be pretty transparent. You will have to go back, and I'll show you. We're gonna have to clean up the black. Not a big deal. Took me about 3 hours to paint this model. I painted this model probably 6-7 months ago, and I'm finally getting to making the video. So all right, now we're gonna go clean up our mess. So you can see from this point on, I sort of paint half the model. It's already done. And then for the video, I wanted to show painting the other half of the model. So we're gonna go back in with the coal black from Pro Curl, and we're gonna clean up all the little joints and bits. And then we're gonna hit it with some metallics here in a bit. So this is a little bit more of a tedious task with your brush. Just get in there and try to paint between the lines, just because we don't wanna have to go back and try to mimic that transition or that fade, the technique with what we just done with the airbrush. You can definitely do it. So if you don't have an airbrush, hey, I know not everyone has an airbrush, or maybe they're a little bit more intimidated to get into an airbrush. I think it's a vital tool to use, and I think the earlier you can get an airbrush and use it, even a cheap one, you don't need a Harder & Steenbeck, $200 airbrush, $300, $350 if you're doing the Infinity. You can use just one from, I have quite a few. The Ultra though, for $100, the Ultra 2024 version, it is hard to beat to me. I don't know if there's another airbrush on the market that's even close to the features that thing has, and user friendliness and how well it cleans. Also, Harder & Steenbeck, really good customer service from my experience. So now we're just moving along. So the back panel there, I did leave it the Mechanicum, the black and the white. I don't show that in the video from my understanding, from what I remember, but it's pretty simple to do. Now we're gonna go to the Vallejo Aluminum Air. If you don't use Vallejo metallics, you're missing out. they probably have some of the best metallics on the market personally. I know they have that true metallic range that is supposed to be hitting the market, or maybe it's already out. I'm not for sure. I don't have my hands on it, but I'd like to get that full range because their metallics are an airbrush. I use a lot of their airbrush metallics with a brush just because they flow so well. You don't have to cut them, you know, you don't have to put any type of flow improver or anything like that. And they just flow so well off a brush, and they paint so much better than a Citadel Retributor armor that's just chunky and getting streaks throughout your paint scheme, and you just really they cover really well. So some exciting things with the channel. I'm actually going to rebrand the channel, so be on the lookout for that. And also I'm going to get into some battle reports here soon, probably at the beginning of the year. I'm getting new camera equipment, pretty stoked about that, and I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for battle reports. I know it's an already saturated market, so I'm not really for sure the audience that I'm going to be hitting with that. I'm going to try to do something different though. I might try to get a little bit more creative. I don't know. The first few though might be a train wreck. So just hold on to your seats, because I'm going to have to learn quite a bit to do those battle reports. There's a lot more camera angles and just a lot more editing, unfortunately. So I've been enjoying the painting, but honestly, if you follow my channel, it's not very big. You know, I think I have like 350 people on my channel. Not a lot, and it's a sort of all over the place. I've got historicals, I have Pokemon stuff, which probably not going to be touching that much more, just because that's a really saturated market. So back to painting. I'll continue, but Pro Curl Black Wash, you can use normal for this, and this isn't going to knock that metallic down quite a bit and give you the sort of that grunginess that we need. We don't want it to be ultra bright with the metallics. You could leave it like that, but it just won't look as good, I don't think. And here's the model that's based and everything. So pretty quick process. I painted the weapons. I haven't done the OSL effect. I won't show that in this video, the OSL effect for the plasma. And then you don't technically have to paint the sarcophagus portion of the dreadnought if you never plan on opening those doors, but I do. It's just something I went in there with some poppy colors, some yellow. I didn't show that. Again, I apologize. This is really to show you the highlight portion, to get those volumetric highlights, and for your specifically the dreadnought there. And I didn't do any after this, I didn't do any extra highlighting or anything. It's pretty much done, you know, so that's great. I mean, it's really that's 90% of the model there. So, but loving how this thing is coming out. It looks amazing on the tabletop. I do like branding all my miniatures. It's a lot of fun to name them. Just gives them a little bit more of that personal touch. And then now we're gonna go in the Pro Curl, the rich gold. I know I just said Vallejo, but I'm giving Pro Curl a chance here. I'm gonna try there, and this isn't a bad gold, to be honest. And we're gonna go in and we're gonna do all the sarcophagus portion, all the trim around the sarcophagus, the skull, and the front trim pieces. But yeah, so my channel, so I just don't see a lot of growth in it, to be honest, and I sort of want to step out of my comfort zone a little bit and try out some battle reports. We'll see how it goes. It might flounder. I might do a few of them and they just don't take off, and we'll see if I continue it. I do this all out of just my I enjoy it. I'm not trying to gain fame. I'm not trying to gain money or anything like that. I'm not gonna ever charge anything, Patreon. Like, I'm never gonna do that. Like, I just enjoy creating content, making it for people. Maybe it helps them out, maybe it doesn't. So we're gonna wash that gold with Citadel Reichland Flesh Shade. This is a really good way to almost give it like an aged gold look. So it does have it's sort of a satin in that paint. So remember, after you do everything, you're going to matte varnish and be good to go. There's a plasma OSL, good picture, but here's the ending shots for it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I went off topic a little bit, but I do enjoy making this content for you guys. So if you guys have any suggestions, just let me know in the comments and I will keep the content rolling. Thanks, guys.